Hey guys, welcome to my podcast, or welcome back if you already watch it. My name's Olivia and this is Imladris Pod, where I talk about anything related to knitting, mostly kind of showing what I'm working on, what I'm planning, and what I've made already, as well as some other fun stuff. So today's just going to be kind of a regular episode. I've got quite a few different whips going on right now. I feel like it looks pretty different from when I was last on here because I've finished the Spiral Hill sweater vest. So I'll just get right into FOs first and then I'll talk about my whips. So this is pretty much an FO. I'm considering redoing the neckline, but here it is. Ta-da! I am so pleased with how this turned out. It does still need a block, so I think that it'll absolutely be perfect after blocking, and I'm so excited to see what it looks like when it does. But I am planning to wear this at Disneyland on my birthday later this year during October, and we're actually going to be going to the Blue Bayou restaurant, which is like a bucket list item for me. Like I don't care as much about the food as I do the atmosphere and just being somewhere that I've always kind of wanted to check out, like being a passenger on the Pirates ride. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. I'm gonna be wearing this that day and wearing a birthday pin because I just found out that's a thing and I'm so excited. Can't wait. FOs. Is that my only FO? There's a half an FO. So I finally finished one shrimp sock. Here's the shrimp sock. It's a little bit hard. It's pretty hard to see like what the orange actually looks like. It's coming out a bit dark on camera here, but it's more of a highlighter yellow. And actually what I really like about this yellow is that it's not when I'm in the sun, but when I'm in the shade on a sunny day, it glows like a highlighter. So I really like that, and I just can't wait to get started on the next one and finally wear my shrimp socks. This sock has been a journey. So first of all, this is my first color work on a sock, which it actually turned out really well because what I did was I knitted it inside out. So my floats turned out pretty good, I think. That's what my floats look like. Because I've done Fair Isle before. Turns out it's not my favorite kind of color work. Like visually I think it's my favorite, but actually doing the color work is not my favorite, just because like I'm predominantly an English knitter, so I tend to hold the yarn in my right hand. However, I can at this point hold it in my left as long as I'm paying attention. So I can do like the one strand in my right hand, one strand in my left. I just really have to be paying attention to my tension. But yeah, so this was fun. And then I ended up, so the pattern calls for a regular heel flap and gusset, but I decided that I don't want to do that, so I actually just knitted a tube all the way to the toe here, did the toe, and then so let me back up for a second. I placed waste yarn right where I wanted the heel to be, or pretty much like, so I knitted however long I wanted the leg to be. I actually followed the pattern for that part, and then when it got to the heel flap instructions, I placed waste yarn over half the stitches, kept knitting until I got to the toe, knitted the toe, and then made a peasant heel, which, to be honest, it's kind of janky looking. I actually tried this like 3 times because I've used DPNs quite a lot, but I was just having a really hard time getting my tension right, like between the needles, and I think I finally got it like, so you're supposed to tighten the second stitch but not the first stitch. Like, I think what my problem was, I was tightening the first and the second stitch, or like I knit the first stitch just fine, and then when I'm knitting the second stitch I pull really tight, which I don't know why it didn't occur to me that that was tightening the first stitch, so I stopped doing that, started just knit without pulling, and then on the third stitch tighten up real tight the second stitch. That's been helping a lot, but I ended up switching to magic loop because it's much more comfortable for me than DPNs in general, and that helped. I'm still not entirely happy with this heel, but I don't want to keep redoing it over and over because it's functional now, and hopefully when I do the second sock it'll look a lot better because I will have gotten this practice. I'm not sure, I'm not entirely sure that this heel is for me. I'm kind of on a sock journey right now, so I'm trying different heels. I've tried the heel flap and gusset, and now I've tried the peasant slash afterthought forethought heel, and now going into my whips, what I'm working on, it's not much right now, but this is the top portion of a diamond heel sock I'm making from my friend Laura's diamond heel sock pattern. So this is also her yarn, so it's just a Always Be Kind sock. And this colorway is Mermaid Lagoon. And so the diamond heel sock, from what I understand, it's kind of like a short row sock that's shaped like a diamond, and when you lay it flat it kind of juts out the side a little bit, and the purpose of that heel, first of all, it fits some people pretty well that I've seen, and my foot's not too unusual, so I'm hoping that it'll fit me too, and it's really good for self-striping sock yarn. So if I do end up using self-striping yarn and that heel fits me, then I'll probably use that heel. So I'm trying to find what works best for me, and so trying to figure out my favorite heel. And I also need to try the Fish Lips Kiss heel. So I got the pattern for that, and then I also had quite a time figuring out what gauge I wanted, or like how to get the gauge I wanted for socks in general. So this pattern calls for 9 inches per inch, but even on size zeros I'm still getting 8 stitches per inch. So I'm with the 9-inch circulars, I think since I generally knit looser, I'm going with the general 8 stitches per inch and casting on 56 stitches. I really like the 2x2 ribbing. Like, I tried it on and it was just, I loved how it looked and fit. And then yeah, so I'm really happy with how the fabric of this sock is turning out with the size zeros and my stitch count. So yeah, I'm hoping to have kind of my own vanilla sock recipe based on like other people's socks that I've seen that I like, and what fits my foot. I mean, my foot's not too unusual. I have like a women's 7.5 US size. Just nothing, there's nothing unusual about my feet. So luckily it's pretty easy to figure out what works for me, because generally socks fit me pretty well. And actually I'm wearing my own socks right now. These, I used the Tin Can Knits Rye Light pattern, but I just didn't do the garter stitch on the front here because I didn't want to purl. And these socks are actually a little bit small on me because I should have knit the foot longer, so the heel kind of goes under my foot a little more than it should. But they're still comfortable. That's one of my cats meowing at the door, so she's okay. She just misses me. So yeah, that's just kind of my My friend Laura calls it purse sock, so I'm going to call it my purse sock because it's perfect for bringing to stitch gatherings of any kind, sitting at the doctor's office, anything that you want to do mindless knitting with. So, love it. I'm also knitting another pumpkin cat, which I do not recall if I showed off the other pumpkin. It's called the Jacko Cat pattern by Mochi Mochi Land. But I'm making another one. It's basically like it's like a little mini muscle burrow, and you knit the orange part of the pumpkin first, and then you knit the yellow part. You put the yellow part in the orange part after stuffing it a little bit, and then you make a little cat, put the cat inside, excuse me, and then you knit the lid of the pumpkin, and it's just super cute. And three of my friends want one, so I'm knitting 3 of these. And this is actually, I've knit a whole bunch of her patterns because I just love the little mini knitted amigurumi. Usually I've used DPNs, but this time I'm trying it out with magic loop, as you can see, and metal needles because the increases can get pretty tight. So that has been pretty smooth, honestly. I mean, the first couple rounds, because you're starting from nothing, really, the first couple rounds can be pretty tight, but then it gets pretty smooth. So yeah, I'm going to be making 3 Jacko cats. 2 of them for friends' birthdays that are this week. One of them actually was this past weekend. And then the other one is for a coworker who is just as into spooky season as I am. And then another is a box cat. A cat in a box. It's very cute. Yeah, those are my Jacko cats cat patterns. I'm also once again working on my wintry stocking cap design, and it's in Fair Isle. So this is actually the second iteration of this hat. This time I've really lengthened the brim because I want there to be, I don't know, I like the option of being able to fold it up if you want to, or even like join with the top here, or you can even make it longer. But basically what I did with this pattern is I decided that I'm just gonna start with one size, and I might expand it to more sizes, but because this is my first time making a Fair Isle pattern, and it's a hat pattern that needs to fit people, and what was the third thing? I forgot the third thing. But anyways, I decided that I was taking too long to decide on what to do with this pattern, and with just one size, casting on 100 stitches, it makes it a lot easier for me to come up with motifs that fit. And one of the ways that I'm going to make this fit a lot of people is this ribbing here. So actually this sample here I did alternating cable cast on, but I don't know if I did it wrong or something. It's just not very flexible. So I mean, I'll probably end up making multiple samples, but I'm not going to call for a specific cast on in the pattern. I'm not great with, tutorial type stuff, so in my patterns I'll put tips, and sometimes I'll have instructions for certain techniques that are not common. But in general, I think that knitters should just kind of have the freedom to do whatever cast on is comfortable for them and works for them. And if it's a long tail cast on, if it's a regular knitted cast on and it works for you, then that's great. My main thing has been coming up with the motifs, and then yesterday I finished the ribbing and I started the Fair Isle portion, and that's been really fun. So yeah, on this hat I've been holding one strand in my right hand and then one strand in my right or left, and just kind of knitting like that, which is not It's not the most comfortable, but the more I do it, the more comfortable it gets. And it goes a lot faster than just my regular English. Although I think it would be cool to have one of those little finger things you put on with the multiple loops for the different colors. That could be cool, but that's where I'm at right now. And yeah, I've got like two different snowflake motifs, a tree with snow, and then what else? Don't remember what else right now, but they're cute. And this is also my first time knitting a stocking cap, so I'm really challenging myself with this one. I mean, it's not complicated, but with the Fair Isle, I do have to figure out like how often I want to decrease, whether I want to decrease in sections or kind of along the whole thing once it gets to a certain point, which I think that's probably what I'm gonna do, just to get that really smooth line. And at the end I'm gonna have a really pretty tassel. So yeah, I'm really excited for this, and I don't know when it's gonna be done, the sample, but I'd like to, at bare minimum, have this done by, I don't know, maybe by the end of the summer, by the time the weather starts cooling down. It'd be cool to release this and make it available. So yeah, that's where I'm at with my hat, and it's going to be called, I think it's probably going to be called the Frostbluff hat, or just Frostbluff, because that's a fictional town that's in Lord of the Rings Online. You can only go to Frostbluff during the wintertime, during the Yule Festival, and it's really snowy and beautiful, and there's all kinds of festivities going on there. And one of the horses you can get from that event it's actually an elk, but it's like a winter elk with this beautiful like quilted saddle, and it's got the blue and white motifs on it. And so I was just really inspired by that, and in general I am really inspired by like Nordic Fair Isle motifs in particular. So yeah, it's been in the works for a long time, but hopefully by the end of this year, or by the end of the summer, I can get this out. I think this is the last whip I'll show. I don't remember if I have more. I checked. I don't have more. I forgot I have notes. But anyways, I decided I wanted to cake up this gorgeous Halloween yarn from my friend Laura, Always Be Kind yarn. And there's really not much going on here because I just cast on, so it's really nothing right now. I don't know if you can see. Focus. It doesn't want to focus, but it's fine. It's nothing. But I'm making the Primavera collar, and I actually have a picture of it here because I printed it. So it's just kind of a really gothic looking dainty collar that I could wear. And I thought that this spooky yarn with all these bright greens, purples, oranges would be really fun. Pretty much as soon as I saw that collar, I'm like, oh, Tricks and Treats yarn, that's what I'm using for that. And then I bought the pattern and I cast it on, and yeah, haven't done much yet, but I have faith in myself to finish this maybe before spooky season. We'll see. I shouldn't place expectations on myself like that, honestly, but I can have like flexible goals. I think that's okay. Okay, so I went and grabbed a bunch of yarn, and I'm going to share some project plans that I have. There's no time limit. Sorry. There's no time limit on these, and they're just kind of ways that I'm using my stash. And yeah, so I'll just show what I'm going to make. So this Malabrigo Ultimate Sock in Wabi Sabi is just, oh my god, it's so pretty. I'm going to be making my second muscle bro with this, and it's just going to be one of probably my next favorite hat, because my last muscle bro is my favorite hat right now. So it's going to be my next favorite hat, and I'm so excited. I don't know when I'm gonna be making that, but I just wanted to share. And then the what's it called? There's like this, and I'll put the name up here, but there's this orange Oogie Boogie hat in the Nightmare Before Christmas pattern book, and I'm gonna be using this yarn, which is absolutely perfect because it's just the most fiery red, beautiful yarn I've ever seen. Maybe not the most beautiful. I can't say what the most beautiful is, but we're using that. And then for the Oogie Boogie, this beautiful purple from my friend Savannah, and this is from Ginger Twist Studio in Edinburgh, Scotland. I got on my honeymoon, and now I'm realizing how good of a choice that was because these are gonna make a killer hat. And next plans, and these are not in order. These are just things I'm going to make at some point. I just feel really accomplished somehow when I manage to find the perfect pattern for yarn that's in my stash, because I'm really trying to use my stash. I'll still acquire yarn here and there. It's just kind of how it is with me at this point. But I've really reined it in since I think last year. And this is also Ginger Twist Studio, and this is a fingering weight, what is it? 50% baby alpaca, 25% linen, 25% silk, which is a mix that I've never used before. I've never knit with linen or silk. And this is going to be, what's the name? This is going to be a Mara shawl, which I believe is a free shawl pattern that uses one skein of fingering. And this was going to be a different shawl. I'm trying to think. Silmartide shawl. It was going to be released in fall 2023, but it never came up on Ravelry, so I had to change plans on that because it just never came to fruition, unfortunately. But this still has a home. I'm definitely going to be using it because it is just, it's just got kind of unusual texture. It's not scratchy, it's not rough, it's actually really, really soft, I would assume because of the alpaca, but then it's got kind of this I don't know, it kind of looks like it has straw in it or something, but like in the best way. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how this is going to work up and feel in my hands and everything. Next, I got this bi-colored yarn from Laura, Always Be Kind yarn, and I believe I showed this last time, but it wasn't caked up. But this is going to be the Tina shawl. Just double check. Open sesame. Yeah, this is going to be the Tina shawl. I thought maybe I would make socks or something with this, but I don't know. I really want to see how this self-striping works up in something that's not socks. So we're going to see how that goes, and if I don't end up liking how it works up, I'll probably just make a pair of socks. So it has a home. And lastly, this is probably the one I'm most excited about. I'm going to be making the Sunshine Tea by Andrea Gone, and I'm going to be alternating between this like beautiful Galaxy Sparkle yarn and this Aurora yarn. Again, Always Be Kind yarn. Can you tell that I really like her yarn? So I haven't figured out how exactly I'm going to alternate these, whether I'm going to do like bigger stripes or smaller stripes. I'm probably going to knit a swatch just to see how they behave together texture wise, and because this one's quite a bit softer than this one, so they have a little bit different textures, and this one's sparkly and they're just different, but I think they're gonna look kind of cool together, so we'll see. And I've never knit a t-shirt. I've knit a tank top, I've knit sweaters, I've knit vests, but this will be my first t-shirt, exploration. So I'm really excited because the pattern is just, it looks so clean, and I would love to knit something like that that is just kind of like the mini mock tank that I made. I feel like it just looks so clean, and I'm really into that. Like some things I make kind of look homemade, but also I can be kind of a perfectionist. So sometimes when I knit things, I'll redo something several times until it looks right. Like for example, the Spiral Hill sweater vest, I'm thinking I'm likely going to redo the collar stitches, because if you look here, it kind of flares at the front. It's really hard to see because of the black yarn, but it kind of flares at the front here, and I don't love that. It's not a huge deal breaker, but I mean, I have time. I finished it way earlier than I expected, or than I needed it. So I'm thinking I'm probably gonna block this, and then if the collar is still looking too loose, then I'm gonna redo it, which is really not a big deal. I can get that done in an hour-ish. But yeah. So I guess a couple more things I wanted to mention is I actually frogged a couple things. They weren't huge. I hadn't done very much on either of them, so there was a little vanilla kerchief I started making, and I say vanilla because I wasn't using a pattern or anything. It was just like how you'd start a dishcloth, like with the yarn overs on each side and just knitting. I started one with this yarn and I just wasn't feeling it, and then I saw that hat pattern, which I'll just grab it. Here's the book, by the way. Here's the hat. And yeah, so you can see I'm pretty much using the same color yarn. And there is a band of lighter orange on there, which I don't know if I'm gonna add another color there or just use the bright orange. But yeah, that's what that looks like. But yeah, I frogged that little kerchief, and then I also am frogging the folklore cardigan. I started doing all the cables, and I got probably about that far in the cardigan, so not very far at all. Like the ribbing was probably about that long, and I did maybe actually this much of the cables, and I just didn't find myself wanting to come back to it at all. I mean, it was looking good. I like the colors, like I was using purple and gold for Speak Now. But yeah, I just wasn't feeling it, so I just decided I'm gonna frog it and use the yarn to make a different sweater. So I'm probably gonna be making like a plain turtleneck sweater. I don't know if I'll do like any intarsia at the front. Maybe that'd be fun because yeah, I still have a lot of the gold, so I could definitely do like some stars at the front or something. That'd be really cute. Maybe something like the Coraline sweater, which is so cute. I love that sweater. Yeah, or I could also make another sample of the sweater I'm still trying to design. Like I haven't started a sample yet because I need to change needle sizes and make another swatch, and I need to nail down like the front design I want to do. I just don't want to say too much because I don't want to like put my ideas out there and like lose motivation or momentum or whatever. So I'm just gonna keep it to myself for a while until I get there. So that's how it is. So yeah, so far I'm feeling really motivated this summer. Well, it's not quite summer yet, I don't think, but either way, this summer I'm feeling pretty motivated knitting wise, and I don't know if any of that is because I kind of have been associating summer now with fun, colorful knitting. Probably because of all the test knitting I did a couple years ago. Was it a couple years ago or was it last year? I don't remember. I did a bunch of test knitting. I think it might have been last. I don't remember. Last year or something like that. But yeah, I was knitting like a madman, and it it was such a fun experience doing those test knits. And I don't know if I'll do that much test knitting again necessarily. It just kind of coincided with like having a lot of motivation for knitting already, and then I saw those test knits. And those are for Jamie Creates, her new book, Fast and Fabulous Knits, I think. Yeah, I did those test knits, and then now I just associate summer with all that knitting, and I don't slow down during the summer. I just keep going, even if I'm making sweaters or whatever. But there are also just so many cute summer knits out there that I want to make. So like year round for me, there's no shortage of motivation for knitting. So, and lately I've been feeling just really personally fulfilled by it. I actually went to an event for Worldwide Knit Crochet in Public Day. I actually went to an event for Worldwide Knit / Crochet in Public Day locally. So I went to just this local outdoor area in my town and met with a bunch of my knitting friends, and there ended up being probably about 25 of us roughly. So that was really fun, and I ended up staying for hours. I was there for a lot of the day. That was really, really fun, and I would definitely do it again next year. So I've just been really bonding with people, and I even created like a Discord server for my local knit group, which has been slowly growing to my surprise. And that's been really fun. And then I also, last night, I even started a blog. Unless you want to like try to find it, you can, but I'm not gonna post the link here quite yet, because I know my ADHD likes new and shiny things, so I'm gonna see how the new shiny thing does after it's been a little while. So make my blog posts, whatever. I don't care if no one reads them, I really don't. But if I keep doing it consistently, or I just keep coming back to it, even if I leave it for a little bit, then I'll post the link here if you're interested. I'm just gonna be kind of writing about whatever's on my mind. When it comes to knitting, I don't think I'm gonna like write a bunch of stuff about my life really, because I don't think other people would find that very interesting, and I just don't find it necessary. But when it comes to knitting, I like having an outlet to just talk about it. And I don't know if you could tell, I'm not the most comfortable in front of a camera. It's not the easiest thing in general for me to talk words. Maybe because of my ADHD, I don't know if I talk too fast or anything like that, but it's just, writing is such an easy outlet for me. So I feel like writing it'll be a lot more consistent than the videos, because the videos I feel like I kind of have to gather up a little bit of content to share. Otherwise I'm kind of just sitting here like, yeah, I knitted on that sock I talked about yesterday, and now I'm still knitting on the same sock, nothing's changed. So yeah, blog posts, I think it'll be a good place to kind of, I don't know, creatively explore this space. I don't know how else to put it. Yeah, blogging. Alright, that's all I have today. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you next time. Bye.